Hey everybody, I'm Woodsy Workout and welcome to my Hyrox deep dive series. Today we are looking at the SkiErg. We're going to go over form tips, training tips and race strategies. When it comes to the SkiErg, form is especially important, and when we're talking Hyrox, it's all about efficiency. It's the first station in the Hyrox race, so although you'll be fresh and full of energy and ready to rip, you want to conserve your energy whilst going at a reasonable pace. Let's start with foot position. With your arms out straight, your middle finger should touch the machine, and then if you jump, you should land in a nice athletic stance. So with your feet either just outside your shoulders or just outside your hips. Next, we want to look at our catch position. So this is the top position. Most importantly, hips are open, which means you're using your glutes, and then we want to open up and lift through your midsection. Doesn't matter how tall you are, the rise and compression of your torso generates power. So up nice and tall, lift the heels off the ground, and it doesn't have to be right up onto your tiptoes, but just so that you feel the weight in the balls of your feet. Then you want arms extended out in front. If you're tall enough to reach the top from this position, you can relax the elbows, but keep the lats engaged. If you can't reach the top, you want to have your arms extended out in front in line with the pulleys. So not up above your head, out in front, and then straight arms, but maybe slightly relaxed elbows. Now, if we look at the finished position, previously I have cued back pockets, so we get a nice long extended stroke. And for a lot of people that does work, but sometimes I find if you finish here, you may tip forward too much and overuse your triceps. So if you find that is the case, then you want to bring the handles a little more forward, just outside the knees, and that will keep more emphasis on the hamstrings and save the quads for all that work we need them for later. So handles towards your mid thighs, anywhere between your knees and just below your hips. But we always want to keep the hips above the knees. It's a hip hinge, not a squat. And then neck is neutral. Eyes are looking at the monitor, not at the floor and not at the people behind you. For the drive, we want to get from the catch position to the finish position in a straight line. So I do not recommend any of this, any of that. You know who you are. Straight line, and the majority of the power comes from the top half of the stroke. If you cut the stroke in two and say you try to see how much power you can generate from the top half just by doing half strokes, and then see how much power you can generate from the bottom half, you'll find that the bottom half is a lot less. You can't use as many muscles. So we want the power coming from the top half and then follow through with the bottom half. The top half, you're lifting the torso up, weight on the balls of your feet, lats engage, and then you drive on top of the handles, and then the bottom part of the stroke is like a follow through. You just want to continue the momentum without any unnecessary tension. Think of it like throwing your hands down, or if you had a whip, you're throwing your arms down, but your elbow and your wrist is relaxed. The way up is called the recovery stroke, and it should be exactly that. Recovery. Don't rush it. Imagine the handles are pulling you up. Breathe in, open the hips, lift the torso, and then you're in that good position to power down. And now last form tip is your eyes. In that top position, look straight ahead, smile at the camera, get your race pick, and then as you drive down, eyes should face the screen with your head and back neutral. If you're cranking your neck to look up, you're going to be out of position. And if you are looking at the floor, then it makes it harder to come back up and you end up sort of in this dizzy head banging territory. And, you know, we don't want that. Now, how to train for the SkiErg? Well, to practice those points that I just mentioned, you want to slow it down. Reduce both the stroke rate and the power and go steady. Keep it nice and smooth and consistent. Work for longer bouts. Think 10 to 20 minutes And this is a great way of getting your cardio base up as well as improving your endurance of the muscles needed when skiing. So long, steady sessions will improve your form and endurance. And then on the other side, you have power. Power is speed times strength. So firstly, strength. Best exercises to improve your SkiErg strength are chin-ups or lat pull-downs, which work your arms and lats, hollow holds, which work your core, and deadlifts, which work on your posterior chain and give you that nice strong base. Tricep extensions can also help, but like I mentioned earlier, we want the power coming from the big muscle groups, not just the triceps. For speed, I like standing or kneeling med ball slams, as well as shorter, faster intervals on the SkiErg. So it's like 30 seconds to 2 minutes, and there's a ton of SkiErg workouts that you can do that are this kind of format. Okay, so that's form and training. Now let's talk race strategy. The SkiErg is the first station. It's less than 10 minutes into the race, and quite simply put, it's a trap. Nothing is stopping you from going hard on the SkiErg. There's no previous fatigue. There's no weight to slow you down. Your adrenaline is still pumping. You get to the SkiErg and you think, how? I might just be built different. But you'd be wrong, and I will be passing you shortly. If you don't believe me, you can try this. Time yourself skiing a kilometer as hard as you can, and then push a Hyrox weighted sled 50 meters as hard as you can. Once you are fully rested, ski the kilometer at 70 to 80% of your max effort, and then push the sled as hard as you can. And I'll save you the effort. Doing the latter one is quicker, and that's just over that short 10-minute workout. We are talking an hour plus, so really you want to be more like 60 to 70% of your max effort when we're on the SkiErg. And then you may be thinking, well, Woozy, what is even the point in getting good at the SkiErg if you're not going to go hard on it? Well, if you improve your maximum capacity on the SkiErg, your 60% effort will be faster and less fatiguing than someone else's 60% effort. Which is also why you shouldn't be looking at other people's screens on the SkiErg. They could be doing 90% and then they'll bonk on the sleds, or their lighter effort is just higher than your lighter effort. Which means if you are going to try and match them, you're just going to put yourself in trouble. So pace the ski, smooth strokes, get into a rhythm, settle the nerves, and stick to the plan. The final thing I get a lot of questions on is the damper settings, and what seems like a simple thing can actually be a bit of a grey area. When it comes to damper settings, the best analogy I've heard is it's like climbing stairs. If you imagine 1,000 meters is a long flight of stairs, if you take them one at a time, it's like the damper is on a low setting. You can get a quick turnover, but you're not actually going to get as far with each stroke. If your damper setting is high, it's like taking the stairs 2 or 3 at a time. You can put more power into the strokes, but you can't turn it over as quickly. And in the end, they both can equate to the same time, but the effect on the body is quite different. Taking the stairs one at a time, so having the damper on low, is going to increase your cardiovascular and respiratory demands on your heart and lungs, but decrease the muscular demands. Taking the stairs 3 at a time, like having the damper on high, will increase the muscular demand, but it can decrease the cardiovascular demand. Your best bet is likely somewhere in the middle, but know that if you are a stronger athlete with less cardiovascular endurance, you can set it a little higher and slow the stroke rate down. And if your cardio is good, but your strength isn't, then set it a little lower. But unfortunately, that's not it. What really muddies the water is each skier and each rower will have a different drag factor depending on the air or how new or clean the machine is. And this means that a damper set to 7 at your gym on a decrepit old rower that has been sucking dust all its life will feel very different to a Hyrox rower, which at the moment they tend to be pretty new and in good nick. Unfortunately, you can't test the drag factor of skiers and rowers before racing, so you'll just have to be in the ballpark. And Just know that a difference of 1 or 2 is not going to make or break your race, so don't panic if it feels a bit different. So that's all I've got on the SkiErg. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share. And if you have any questions, then drop a comment. Subscribe for future videos. And if you are interested in Hyrox training, then I have a Hyrox training principles ebook on my website, which you can buy because I believe that if you teach someone the principles, they can design the method for themselves. For anything else, reach out to me on Instagram at WoodsyWorkout, where you can find plenty more tips and tricks on all things health and fitness. Until next time, peace.